I love like James Bond movies and other movies where people are using a suppressor, David.
Let me see your war face.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah,
right?
the silencer,
This sound.
Yeah,
It doesn't sound like that.
I know that.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
David, you know I'm a sound guy. Deal with sound all the time. And in terms of measurement of sound, which is measured in a unit called a decibel, which is 1/10 of a bell, which I don't want to get too into, but let's just say Alexander Graham invented it. Almost all sound is measured in decibels. And right now, as we're talking, this device on my computer is measuring the level of sound that our voices is putting out. So safe amounts of sound, our conversation right now is moving at about 60 decibels.
Right.
Crank up your lawnmower, you're talking about 90.
Right. Pneumatic nail gun is about 100.
Mm-hmm. And then when you start getting into firearms,
It gets louder.
let's put it to the test.
Try a hammer.
Right at 110 or so.
I have a little Astra 22 short. We're going to see what this does.
Right at 150, so rock concert or so.
9mm.
And David, that one's looking to be about 210 decibels. And by the way, the decibel scale is kind of like it's logarithmic. Every one higher is 10 times in the intensity. So
Basically, every third one is twice as loud.
exactly.
45 ACP.
Looks like it's coming in at about 260, maybe a little more. And yes, we are in a bit of an enclosure here, so the sound is kind of focusing back.
We got bounce back.
Yeah.
So that will increase the sound level.
Yeah.
But if you're inside a building, it would increase the sound level.
Oh, that's another thing about suppressors. They don't just click right into place.
But it's cool.
It is cool. But yeah, the threads are pretty fine, so it takes a little while to kind of get it on there the way it should be.
Got to plan ahead.
You do. You're not going to just pull that out of your backpack and, okay, now I'm ready. Well,
There we go.
and at 125. So whereas it may not go like
Do that again. No, don't. I'm sorry.
it does suppress the sound as we just measured it.
Yeah, it obviously it makes it quieter, but it does not make it Hollywood silent. There's still a report, and it's louder than hitting the hammer, louder than a nail gun. And if you're in your office and you hear what sounds like a nail gun, well, it's probably not a nail gun. You might want to take some preventive measures there.
And that bad guy recently was using a suppressor. I don't know why, because there's a lot of reasons to not use a suppressor.
Right. And the police were in a building nearby,
Yeah.
a different building. They heard the shots, came over and responded. So people who were inside the building, I thought it was a nail gun, so I didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Well, this is louder than a nail gun. And it's interesting to note that there are 1.5 million legal suppressors registered with the BATF. Of those 1.5 million, 0.003 are used in a crime. So more kids die in a 5-gallon bucket of water. So suppressors, legally owned suppressors, are not a problem.
They aren't, and they do have a purpose. Now, I wouldn't use one on a handgun unless you're in a situation where you don't want to use your hearing protection. I know a lot of instructors like to use them for that very good reason. But for hunting reasons, and this is the big one, especially hog hunting or hunting where there might be residents nearby.
Absolutely. And in Europe, if you don't use a suppressor, you're just rude. Because in Europe, suppressors are not regulated near as much, if at all, from what they are here, because they use them for hunting and just for the manners of it, I guess. Like you don't want to offend anybody with your noise that you're there. So Europe, they don't have these kind of problems. I mean, and we don't have these kinds of problems either. Just one guy happens to do it, and suddenly it's a national event, and it's not. 0.003 are ever used in a crime.
So whether it's suppressed or not suppressed, guns for everybody.
Suppressed.